I'm getting taken to task.
You're taking the task by your own blood, man. It's cool, man.
I tell you, that's our family. That's the family is the ones that I'm telling you right now. If you don't believe it, it's the ones that are closest to you. They do it to you all the time.
Slow night.
I can't even deny that. I've been.
They will spike the punch bowl when you least expect it.
Oh man. Pull a chair from under you when you're about to sit down, huh? Just be like, hey, I'm sitting right here.
Have either one of y'all seen the Christmas special Shrek the Hall?
No, I didn't see that.
No.
They'll probably play it again. I'll look for it.
It's instant classic.
Well, FX?
I don't know about anything about now. Just search it on your DVR, it'll pop up again. As Eddie Murphy playing the voice of Donkey said, "Christmas isn't Christmas until somebody's crying."
Wow. Somebody's crying. Well,
I love that. That's true.
Well, it sounds like the dude. It sounds like the D-back from the Eagles was crying after the game after Dez Bryant gave him the business the other night.
Dude, seriously?
Yeah.
Okay. We all know you have coaches upstairs in the box, in the booth or whatever, where they are. Wherever they are. They're watching.
They're watching.
Most teams. Most teams. Yeah. Somebody watching something. Most teams. What in the hell were they looking at?
Oh no, man. Well, no, I'm gonna tell you what they was looking at. What they was looking at is, no, but in the first game, Dez and Romo weren't on the same page. They were doing the same thing. They was playing man to man on them. They just weren't on the same page.
Mm-hmm.
This game, after the first touchdown, I guess he believed that crap stinks, so they tried it again. You would think after the second touchdown they would go, okay, you know what? Let's let Terrence Williams and the other little dude Beasley get off. Nah, we're gonna keep letting Dez Bryant and Jason Witten just kill us.
That was I can understand the fade on the first one. Mm-hmm. I get that. I mean, because what I'm trying to say is Tony Romo put that ball where pretty much only Dez's long arms could get it. I mean, you had to really. I mean, I'm sure some other cornerbacks would try to hit Dez on the arm or try to, disrupt it. But that one was tough. Right. Now, the other 2, 3, I don't know.
That's bad. That's just bad.
Dude, that's bad.
Hey, you know what? Y'all know what's funny though? I'm listening to this conversation. It's kind of similar to the ones that hurt me and everything. And I thought to myself, you know what? We never heard this in the late 80s and early 90s. We never heard anybody say, how could they let Jerry Rice do that to them?
That's true. That's a great point. Wow. That's a great point.
But that's the conversations we all have now. How do you let Dez Bryant beat you 3 times? And I'm thinking, that's funny. Nobody ever said that. How do you let Jerry Rice you watch the game? Jerry Rice beat him 3 times. He was good.
3 times?
Yeah, he was good.
Wow.
3 times. What'd you expect? It's Jerry Rice.
That's amazing. I haven't thought about that. Why is that, you say? Maybe it's because... I
haven't said why. I'm just saying, have you noticed that these are the conversations we all have now? But
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just
saying. No, I think maybe one of the reasons why is because it's not done on a consistent level or basis all the time. It's not consistent. Jerry Rice was consistent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like because it's like you don't expect that.
I think we sensationalize every time somebody has a great game. We sensationalize it like it's supposed, like Dez Bryant is not capable of hitting 3 touchdowns when he's man-to-man one-on-one. I mean, that's just the thing. I mean, and plus a lot of the teams and the defenses and stuff, they know that these guys can't cover a damn chair. They can't cover a damn chair. A chair sitting right in front of them. The chair is wide open. So, it's like, I mean, Dez Bryant gets 3 touchdowns. As a fan, we looking at it like, hope he's on my fantasy team. Look, one game, right? One game he's gonna score 3. Oh, it just happens to be the Eagles. A lot of these cats can't cover.
Yeah, no, I kind of want to switch gears a little bit because I'm gonna say something that hopefully, will not land me in trouble. A week ago.
Your wife around?
No, just the Sports Nation.
Okay.
March. The weekend before, last weekend. I'm sorry. Peyton Manning had a bad game, right?
He did. What bad
game?
Did
he ever? He had a game too.
Kind of non-spectacular.
Okay,
the reason he didn't throw a touchdown pass, but
Pete, I have him on my fantasy team in my other league that I enjoy playing.
From a fantasy league, perspective, it was a bad game, but the Broncos won. So how was it a bad game? He called the play. I'm
talking in terms of fantasy.
Oh, well.
Talking about real life. You said you mentioned fantasy.
No.
Right, no, you mentioned fantasy. Yeah,
Lord.
Fantasy.
I'm sorry.
Right, yeah. It doesn't matter to you because you and Prev tend to be okay. You guys tend to do all right.
I ain't okay. I'm out of both. All 3 of my leagues.
Okay.
You know when they tell you don't forget where you came from. You haven't been in my shoes in a long time, brother. And trust me, next year I will be sitting where you and Prev are sitting. Trust me. Okay, so I know you might forget. Oh, well, it's fantasy. No, it's everything.
I'm well acquainted with the basement. Don't worry. The dungeon, the basement. I'm well acquainted with that feeling. Don't worry.
Are you really? Because I don't see anyone.
You just haven't seen it. You just haven't seen it.
Prev, I don't see anyone else down here. It's just me. It's just me and my sorry failures. When you got there, you saw the dirty socks in the corner. Those are mine. I was wondering whose socks that was. Y'all just gonna leave the socks in the corner? Just gonna leave them in the corner?
Obviously, Peyton Manning and Drew Brees last week put some cats out, and this past week, Aaron Rodgers put some cats out.
Yeah, that's true too. And here's why I said I hope I don't get in trouble, because I think for some sick reason, I'm having fun with this, but maybe Peyton said, you know what, I'm gonna screw some people in their fantasy this week, because here's the deal, I had Demaryius Thomas in another league and Emmanuel Sanders, so Peyton is in my other league. He craps how do you get 7 points? It's called a virtual no-show.
Because he ran the ball. They didn't have, just like you said about Geno, they didn't have a reason to throw.
I'm going to get in the camera right now.
They ran the ball.
It's the Buffalo Bills. It's the Buffalo Bills.
And he put up 200 yards rushing on the Buffalo Bills. Why throw?
It's the Bills.
You see what the Buffalo Bills did to Aaron Rodgers this week?
You wish you had them Peyton Manning 7 points.
I was about to say, did you see what Buffalo did to Jordan Nelson and Aaron Rodgers this week?
Yeah.
Man, they had in our money, we had a combined. Jordan Nelson and Aaron Rodgers had a combined 15. Combined.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah,
that's
Buffalo legit. But they still couldn't stop C.J. Anderson.
Buffalo have not been legit. Pete.
They got the number 3 defense in the league, man.
They got a good defense.
They got the number 3
St. Louis. Who? Oh, wait, whoa. St. Louis.
Yeah,
where are they right now? They're in the
Seattle
7.
Seattle's number 1.
Yeah, Seattle's number 1. I'm saying Buffalo's number 3. Where's St. Louis? About 7.
Okay. I didn't know.
Remember the first
I did not know Buffalo.
Buffalo's defense is legit.
When did they become legit? Because they were not legit in the beginning of the year.
They've been legit pretty much all year, except for maybe
mid-season.
About 2 or 3.
Not number 3 legit. Not number 3 legit.
Okay.
Not ranked
Well,
3.
Deon,
Not all year.
hold on, Deon. Don't forget they get to play the Jets twice.
And the Dolphins twice. Even
Yeah.
though we beat them
And
one
the
time,
Dolphins.
they beat us the first time. And every
Yeah.
And the Bears.
every high-powered offense they played against this year, they've kept them in check. They have not let the only two teams they let. All I'm saying is they're that good now, so it don't matter. You're saying win, it don't matter. You haven't been paying attention to what they've been doing the last few weeks.
I have not, and that's
And
my
that's
point.
what-
Because
so-
I knew that they weren't all that.
So
I'm
the
just-
root,
listen,
the root
here's what I'm
cause
saying.
of your championship woes is the fact that you ain't paying attention to the championship weeks.
Well,
You gotta pay attention.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. No, wait.
hold on,
I'm not saying that Buffalo's is horrible, but I'm thinking Cleveland's got a better defense. Cleveland had a good defense.
They do.
They shocked the Bengals the other day.
That's what I'm saying. No one was talking
scared the
about
Bengals
Buffalo.
into 30 points. Yeah.
But what I'm saying, I'm just saying, no one was talking about Buffalo. It wasn't even. They weren't even talked about, man. So I didn't know.
Now they 8-6.
Yeah.
The playoffs.
Yeah.
I put it. Pete, I understand what you're saying because if the as I was telling a young man in the office the other day, in these championship weeks of fantasy, the astute player is definitely on top of emerging defenses like Buffalo that will give your premier quarterbacks a nasty surprise in the playoffs and thus resulting in you not being in the playoffs anymore. However, it's Aaron Rodgers, it's Peyton Manning. It's not like you benched them for RG3 or something because it's a bad matchup.
I never said you bench him, but my point is,
I know.
If it happens, you can't sit there and go, "Well, what? It's Buffalo." Yeah, I bet you Aaron Rodgers and Peyton Manning both be saying, "Damn, what the hell was
that's
that?"
a great, but that's debatable, Pete. I mean, come on, man. They're like that's what I'm saying.
I bet you Aaron Rodgers wish he would have zigged when he zagged this past week.
Here's what I'm trying to say. At the start of the season, Buffalo wasn't top 5. No.
Neither was Seattle.
Top 5. Huh?
Neither was Seattle. What's your point?
Oh, why weren't they? Yes, they were. Why weren't
No,
they?
they were not.
It's the law.
This is the legion of extraordinary gentlemen.
It's a long season, and you guys kind of, about mid-October, beginning of October, starting to get their act together. I mean, they figured out who they were.
But that's my point. My point is, you play. So here's the point: if you play Seattle early, that means you got a lot of early losses because you expected Seattle.
That's right. And if you play the Bills
You got
late,
a lot of early
you can't boast like they were
If
the whole year.
If you was playing Angry Doug, you got a lot of losses playing Angry Doug.
I don't think people now they are still playing Angry Doug.
Well, Angry Doug he's been scoring a few times the last few weeks. But my point is,
he's angry.
Like
Green Bay's defense was not that great in the beginning, and they
ain't that great now.
They ain't that great now. They get turnovers and sacks, but they give up the yards.
But that's my point.
They got
Seattle
their act together. They were horrible.
You would never. It's just like anything else. You would never take Seattle out of the lineup. But there's going to be 4 or 5 games. There was 4 or 5 games this year where they weren't the Legion of Boom. But the last 3 or 4 weeks they've been so damn good that they ranked number 1 again.
No, well, I mean, right? I understand that. I get that. It's just you bolstered the Bills' defense as if they were top 5 all year, and then I didn't. That didn't happen.
From a fantasy perspective,
What saying from the fantasy perspective,
you gotta pay attention. You gotta pay attention.
I play the matchups every week with defenses.
And Prev, I will beg to differ on one thing because I almost pulled the trigger, and if I would have pulled the trigger, I might have won. I didn't look at the points difference, but Joe Flacco was playing the Jacksonville Jaguars this weekend.
I didn't say Joe Flacco.
But that's my point. You were saying RG3. I had Joe Flacco against Jacksonville, and I had Aaron Rodgers against Buffalo. Now, of course, if you lose and Aaron Rodgers goes off, then everybody's gonna be like, why the hell you pull him out? So you rather lose with Aaron Rodgers having a bad game against Buffalo, but it wasn't like I didn't go into that game thinking that Aaron Rodgers was gonna put up 40 fantasy points. I thought Buffalo was legit.
You were aware that it was a bad matchup.
Yes.
And that's all
but I couldn't. I mean, what do you do? You gotta run.
That's all it is.
Man, it's Peyton Manning.
Okay.
It was Aaron Rodgers.
And it was Drew Brees
No.
Who did Drew Brees play that week at home? Cincinnati. They got drunk.
Okay.
Was it Cincinnati?
Okay. No, Carolina.
Think about it. Carolina, they ain't been nothing all year, and they dragged Drew Brees up and down the Superdome.
I'm talking about
fantasy, man.
Listen,
it's fantasy, man.
Peyton Manning. To me, he's Peyton Manning. I have one game. I have won games on him alone.
Of course,
Peyton Manning.
Of course.
And that's why But hold up. But that's why you lost, because you're the rest of your team.
See, that's jacked up. I got a great team. I got a good team. You know what though? No, I tell you what. It's not funny. It's not that funny. It's not that drop, kick you in the teeth funny. It's not that funny. I don't see it. I don't see it.
That's why you lost.
That's not why.
But that's all you had was Peyton Manning.
No. I have a squad, okay? I have a unit.
Then why your squad didn't pick up Peyton Manning?
Oh no, wait. Because you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to mirror the same squad that I have in that league, in Prev's league. And then we'll see who's standing tall at the end of next year.
But do you think that everybody's just going to sit around and let you draft that?
I don't care. You can have it.
Okay, I'm just saying.
There's a lot that can happen from now until the time of the draft.
I've never, in the history of draft, in the history of fantasy, seen an identical team win a championship. It just doesn't happen.
Hey, Deon, Deon, you won't feel good about hearing this. The team I got in one league that's in the finals is the team that I drafted Adrian Peterson in the first round.
Wow.
Yeah, wow. So they went 10-3, still went to the finals. So
that's not great.
I couldn't be a jerk and say, "What's your excuse?" But I'm not going to do that. I'm not about that sort of thing.
Why not? My cousin does it all the time. I mean, it's just fun.
No, you're missing the point. He just did it.
See, Prev, I think I was numb to it.
Why would he talk about it if he? I mean, I'm not going to mention the fact that
I'm sorry, because I was
playoffs.
I'm sorry, I just wanted to finish talking to Prev.
You couldn't let me ride it for one more minute, huh?
No, because he jumped on me like I had something to do with it. I'm on my phone minding my own business.
You know what?
You over here clowning you. You ain't even realize he didn't drew the donkey tail on your butt. He put some flappy ears on you, and you sitting there looking at me.
Spike the punch. It'd be the ones close to you. I mean, it was done in such a smooth manner. I just didn't get it. I'm like, okay, yeah. I'm right there with you. Yeah, storm the castle, storm Pete's room,
I could be a butthole. I could be a butthole and tell you I'm dating your ex-wife, but I won't do that.
I won't tell you how she just left. Nah. Way to go,
but I won't mention that.
Way to go.
You might see a picture. You might see a picture or two on Facebook. Don't mind those. They're just pictures.
I
mean, I'm just getting hammered here tonight, man. Like, where's like really? Really? So we're supposed to be talking sports.
Y'all were talking about paddles. You're talking about
paddles.
I thought we were talking about the playoffs. I guess there's nothing to really talk about. It's the 4 teams I think should be in it. Let's just move on.
All right. Well,
when do they play?
New Year's Day.
I think Ohio State.
The only problem I have is I think the only difference I would have made is I would have made it Florida State at least 2. I'd have made Oregon travel.
Well,
I don't think Alabama should be in it.
Why not? Oh yeah, we know about that. We know why. Yeah, you can't have Phyllis from.
Remind me why.
No, you don't like the SEC bias. You don't like the
I
fact
truly
that
don't.
yeah, you don't like the SEC bias, the fact that they lost and they're giving them credit for losing one instead of discrediting them for losing one.
For losing one.
Because
I mean,
if Florida State would have,
okay,
in Florida, yeah, we talked about it.
I would ask
Because
this,
go ahead,
and
if Florida State
I would
had
just ask
lost.
this.
Mhm.
Okay, I would just ask this because personally, I don't really care what the seedings are. If you're in the top four, it's kind of the same thing as being number 1, 1A, 1B, 1C, 1D. Then everybody else is like
Tell that to the
50.
Florida State fans that got to travel all the way out to California.
I don't care about the Florida State fans that got to travel to California.
Which means it's going to be a true home field advantage for Oregon because they're not, that stadium ain't nobody going out there.
Right. So, anyway, I would just throw this out there. Y'all can answer that any which way you want to. Is giving Alabama quote unquote credit for a loss worse or better than just pretending Ohio State didn't lose to Virginia Tech?
Okay.
But yeah, I don't think you can compare. I don't think you can compare the two though.
You can't.
Because you're not comparing Ohio State to Florida. You're not comparing Ohio State to Alabama. I mean, your point is well taken. No, that loss is a lot worse than Alabama's. But is it worse? But is that situation worse than what the Big 12 tried to pull off?
Okay, wait a second.
That's what Florida State was going against. They weren't going against Oregon or Alabama or Florida State. They were going against the fourth position of the last two Big 12 teams. That was it.
Ohio State did not lose, and then even though Virginia Tech, I don't care what Virginia Tech went on to do. All right, they did lose to Virginia Tech, but it was not an in-conference loss.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, I think Alabama's loss is still worse.
And Ohio,
because that's the way I see it.
Was it because it was a conference loss?
Yes.
Because it was the good team, bad team, forget conference?
No, I'm just saying that if Florida State loses to Clemson, do you think Florida State is where they are right now today? No way. So why in the hell does Alabama get to have that right?
Okay. I don't know that. Well, that's the thing. I guess I don't know that Florida State isn't there because I don't know that if Florida State lost to Clemson,
I guarantee you Florida State would not have been.
I wouldn't have. I'm just saying. Here's my point. I'm not a voter, but I don't know that I'd drop Florida State into like number 11 for losing to Clemson.
Prev, are you kidding me?
They wouldn't have been in the 4, Prev.
They would not have been in that 4, man. They wouldn't have been in that 4. They wouldn't. They would have. They would have. They were making an.
But that's also against the framework of the other non-impressive games they've got.
Well, right? But that's my point.
What if if they blew out everybody else by 90? What does that say about the Clemson loss then?
But that's my point. But Florida State's out of conference schedule, technically speaking, they weren't supposed to blow out everybody by 90. When you got Kansas State and Baylor playing the P.D. Dukes College, when they're supposed to blow out people by 90.
Right.
So the fact that in Ohio State legitly had a decent, think about it. Baylor lost to what? West Virginia? Really?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, they can score, but they're not that good. So, to me, like I said, you had 12 different people probably looking at it 6 different ways out of the 12, and they just chose one situation subjective over another one. I'm not going to disagree, but I'm not going to sit here and say.
The only point I got is that it's all completely subjective. I'm not even sitting
which is good.
Saying anybody got what right or what wrong, but I don't. At this point, since we're in this scenario, I'm like, we've pretty much liquidated all these arguments, and people are like, well, I don't know that Alabama. I don't really got a problem with Alabama being there. I just don't.
Let me ask you this then, Prev. Can I ask you this question? Let me ask you this. Let's say Vanderbilt. They're on a tear. They're winning. And they get one loss.
Mm-hmm.
How would they be treated compared to Alabama with this new system?
If Alabama had one loss?
No,
he
if
said Vanderbilt.
let's say Vanderbilt. Let's say Vanderbilt had the same record as Alabama, and they lost. Let's just say that one loss. It didn't matter who it is. It's from an in-conference loss. It's an in-conference loss. How would they look at them?
Well, to play the devil's advocate, and you're talking SEC bias, it's a one in-conference loss, so you're saying the presumption is that the team they lost to, whether they were good or bad, is presumed to be good, so it'll be considered quote-unquote a quality loss. For all I know, and I don't really know, you sort of made
okay. Let me.
that Vanderbilt might go in as a 4.
Okay, let me kind of clean it up a little bit. All right, you have Oregon undefeated, you have Florida State undefeated, and you've got Alabama. Let's say they just lost 2 games. Let's say they lost 2 games, so but Vanderbilt's only lost 1, and they're the best in that conference. Okay, how does that shape out for them? Let's say they have the best record in the SEC.
Yeah.
Let's just say
won the conference title, blah 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 blah.
Yeah. Let's just. How does that shape out?
Vanderbilt then becomes Auburn, and they get in the 4. The Auburn of last year. And Auburn ran the table. They made sure they was going to be in. They ran the table. I mean, a lot of people don't believe Auburn was. A lot of people don't believe Auburn was the best team in the SEC, but they ran the table.
What I'm trying to get at is that I think that the format should be based on your strength of schedule and if your record, just those 2 things.
But
I don't think that they should consider. Well, here's what let me finish, because I don't think it matters how you play a game. If you win the damn game, you win it. And the only reason why I came to this whole issue is because I'm looking at Marshall. They weren't even in the top 25. And so I looked at it and said, well, wait a minute, something's wrong with that. So then I did a little research and I looked at their schedule. Their conference is horribly weak. It is horrible.
But hold up, time out. How do you define weak and strong? Who defines that? Think about that.
That's a great question.
Hold up. You just no. But what I'm saying is, you just said strength of schedule. So if the masses are voting on what they think is weak and strong, and they're telling you we think the SEC West is the strongest conference in the nation, not in the nation. That means we think the 6 or 7 teams in that conference is better than 2/3 of the nation. Then their strength of schedule is going to be better than other conferences.
And what I say to that is, okay, so what is everyone else supposed to do? What are the other 7 conferences supposed to do? Pack up and go build another football league?
That goes back to what Prev said 2 weeks ago.
Jeez Louise.
What did I say? For the record, what I say 2 weeks ago?
It's the history. It's. I mean, what I'm saying is, it's the SEC. We hadn't seen anything like that, and now it's kind of branded in people's brains that these teams.
It's a problem.
I mean, you say it's a problem. I just say it the way it is. I mean, it's just
because. Okay, I just want to interject, because here's the deal. If that's the case, then how can these other schools afford to get into the SEC? And who in the hell is going to let everybody just come into the... So why don't everyone move in the SEC then? That is stupid to me. Like, you got to stop. Like, listen.
Well, actually, Deon, that's political. That doesn't even have all that to do with competition. I mean, think about it. Hold on.
What?
Why is A&M in the SEC? Why is Missouri in the SEC? And it didn't have a whole lot to do with we're going to go and become the best football team in the nation. Yeah, it would certainly enhance their program. These dudes are getting crapped on by the Big 12.
Yep.
Point simple. They were getting crapped on by the Big 12. Yep. Oklahoma, Nebraska used to be the game of the year. That game used to decide national championships. Mm-hmm. And Oklahoma tells these guys, we don't even really want to play you, even though we're in the same conference. Mm-hmm. In Nebraska, they don't revenue share.
Think
like
about
the
it.
SEC or the Big Ten.
Hey,
These guys said, okay, we're bouncing.
Deon, think about it like this: Kentucky and Vanderbilt and what's some bottom feeders in the SEC? What's a couple of more? What's a couple more?
Vanderbilt,
Kentucky.
Kentucky, Texas A&M,
No, they not.
uh,
I mean, I wouldn't even say that. I mean, so
Well,
think about
I
it.
wouldn't even
Let's just say,
necessarily.
let's
Yeah,
say,
what count the
Mizzou. Ain't nobody
Mizzou,
talk
you know,
about these
they only
teams.
played the championship game 2 years in a row. But
that's
yeah,
what I'm getting.
bottom, yeah.
Who?
Listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what
Texas A&M.
No, you said Missouri.
Texas
And
A&M won
A&M.
8 games last year. Anyway, look. Here's what I'm saying. Here's what I'm saying to you, Deon. Here's what I'm saying to you.
Titles.
Listen to what I'm saying. If you go off for titles, Marshall and them will never get in another conference. But anyway, what I'm saying to you is that Kentucky, because they ain't gonna never win a title, they ain't gonna have a chance to. They ain't gonna never give them a chance to. Kentucky is the bottom feeder. Let's just say Kentucky. They're the bottom feeder, right? Let's just call them the bottom feeder, right? But at football. But people still look at them because they're in the SEC and the competition that they're going against. They're still going to give them the benefit of the doubt because they know the other teams in that conference are good. Okay, let's just stay right there. Kentucky can opt to say, you know what? I don't want to be the bottom feeder. If I truly think I am a better team than other teams, I can opt to go to another conference to see if I can be the top of the Big East or the top of this conference. Mm-hmm. But is that really the best move for them politically and financially? You see what I'm saying? Is that the best move?
Knowing that their bread is buttered in basketball anyway. They get
right. So they don't really care. So when you're talking about, okay, Mizzou is not that good, but 2 years ago they were in the conference final. Mississippi and Mississippi State had a great year this year as far as the games that, as far as their record. Alabama is always in it somewhere around the way. Auburn 2 years ago, 2 years ago won the title. They're right back in it. These teams always are around the whole concept of winning that conference. And you don't see that in other conferences. You usually see 1 or 2 teams dominate the ACC, dominate the Pac-12. I mean, we can talk about Arizona all we want and all this, but it's been Stanford and Oregon. That's it.
I disagree with what you said with the SEC. I disagree with the ACC. The ACC gets shared. That gets shared.
Shared with who?
Clemson, Virginia Tech.
When have they won the conference in the last 5 years?
I'm not saying that, but that might not be the case. But that may not be the case. But it's not always dominated by one team. That was the '90s, Pete, when we were in school. That was Florida State. But nowadays, it's been NC State. NC State has kicked butt throughout the conference at a certain point in time.
This year.
I don't know about this year. I'm just saying collectively since the 90s, the only person that was the dominant big dog was Florida State, and we all know that. But ever since they let others in, there has not been that one. That has not been the case with the ACC.
You sure about that, Deon?
I'm positive about that.
I don't think the ACC has seen too many other champions other than Florida State and Virginia Tech the last
Virginia Tech, Florida State,
and
Miami
that's
hasn't
about
won an ACC championship
and
yet.
that's about it. The other teams have they've been ranked. Miami, last time Miami was won any damn thing was like 2004.
Before they were
Miami's. I understand that Miami's young. I'm just saying, like,
Georgia Tech and State have been around, but they have not been a top dog. They have not. Look how much we talked about Duke.
I understand. All right. Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
Duke
I stand down.
But
I'm gonna do some research on that. I just don't have enough research in front of me right now.
All I'm saying is, Deon, my point I'm making is that there's politics in the essence. It's politics around the SEC. We know that. You can make a better case for a Clemson and an NC State before you're going to make a case for Marshall. I'm just telling you, dog. It ain't going to happen.
No. What I'm trying to say.
22 games in a row, and they're still not going to get picked over. A one-loss Alabama team is going to still get picked over a Marshall team.
What I'm trying to say is, how in the hell do they strengthen their schedule if they can't get these people when everyone else is clamoring to get them to strengthen their schedule? So that's my thing. If we're all saying that, because the collectives, I'm kind of piling it on, because on top of that layer, there's the layer of everyone saying that the SEC is the dominant league, the dominant conference in the overall.
Mm-hmm.
Well, damn. All I got to do to strengthen my schedule is to get a piece of that. Let me give Vanderbilt. I'll tell you, play them every year.
But that's the point. You're not getting a piece of it. It's not going to happen.
So that's a problem. That's a problem. That's a problem. So I will never be able to strengthen my schedule.
You know how many women? You know how many women they got? No, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this on air. You know how many women got big butts like Kim Kardashian?
Not really.
Somehow she keeps getting paid to show hers. There's a lot of women. There's a lot of women that got a booty like Kim Kardashian. But somehow
you pick one that I hate too.
But my point is, but the politics in the whole aura around Kim Kardashian just won't go away. She's done nothing but show her butt. But there's plenty of women that show their butt every day and don't get paid like Kim Kardashian for free.
That's that. Well, I see your point.
So what I'm saying, I agree with, but it's just part of the process.
I'm tired of the process, Pete.
Yeah,
I want other girls to get paid for their butts.
There you go. Me too. I'm with you, D.
I'm not with you. We should not pay for that. Let me ask you something.
Yeah.
You talk about this. You didn't really believe that this playoff system was going to open up the freeway for the second tier team.
This is not.
You didn't really believe that.
That's why he want 8 teams. And the funny thing about it, I keep trying to tell you, Deon, you want 8 teams, and you're still gonna be upset. You still gonna be upset.
I have never heard you until this year.
Okay.
Hey Deon, roll Tide, man. Roll Tide.
You know what? I hope you drool so much on your pillow that you feel like, you just
feel like I'm drowning.
Like you just got doused in cold water.
feel like I'm drowning.
Yeah, come to Virginia for Christmas, man.
Man, I wish I could. Man, I'm trying, bro. I'm trying. I may be. I don't know. Numb. I don't know. What's the next holiday? Martin Luther King?
Christmas.
He said Christmas.
I'll come up for Black History Month, man. We can go.
Black History Month.
Yeah, we can go.
He's about to kill himself.
It's Black History Month. It ain't even no holiday.
We go to Black History Month, man. And the Dolphins are horrible, Pete, by the way, before you get off.
Of course they are, horrible. What expectation did you ever have to think you thought we was going to beat the Patriots?
Dolphins to the playoffs, and the college football playoffs will be fair to everybody.
There you go. That's right. That's right.
That's why he my cuz, man. He wants happiness and equality for all, man. He wants it.
That's it. That's all I want.
He wants it to be fair. He wants things to be,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Thunder and Herd, baby. Thunder and Herd. They lost to Western Kentucky.
Western Kentucky.
All right, fellas. Wow.
All right, y'all.
Hold it down. All right, family. Peace.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.